Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the special Tuesday night We Believe Team Hangouts. Thank you for being here tonight. Tonight we're going to do a little bit of a recap of the Charlotte events. Talk to you a little bit tonight about some stuff that we got going on within our team, some stuff that is going on in Empower Network, some stuff that's probably going on with iPass 2. So it's going to be an action-packed night, so we're going to try to keep it moving. We do have our newest 100K earner, Scott Small, the one and only Scott Small. We got Debbie McKinney and John Eichman. We were all in Charlotte together, and we might have a few more people popping on here if we can get through some of our technical issues we got going on. So, Scott, why don't I just throw it over to you, say hi, and we'll just get this ball rolling.
Well, thank you for that, Brian. And I got to tell you, I'm finally recharged. We had I would say this was kind of a long weekend. We had long sessions. They were jam-packed with all kinds of great training. There was some news. There was, a lot of good things going on here. And, the main thing that I can say is there was just a ton of energy in the room. And, for those of us that were there, we're going to share with you a little bit of what it is that we learned this weekend, some of the things that we can, really go forward with and have a plan going forward. And one other thing before I go any further, I want to congratulate Brian on becoming a grandfather. And I still can't believe that he's a grandfather. He's just too young for that. But he was at the event the entire weekend. And, well, you know what, Brian, why don't you tell the story here real quickly?
Okay, yeah. Well, we were at the event, and Sunday morning was the VIP training session, and got a phone call from the wife saying that my daughter-in-law is in labor. So as soon as the event ended, I hopped in the car and started driving. It was 294 miles. Made it in 4 hours and 37 minutes. Got there around about 11:15, 11:20 at night. And the baby was born at 12:13. So absolutely amazing. She's beautiful. I stole my heart from the first second. So yeah, world's youngest grandpa. So my wife is 36 now. So world's youngest grandma too. So
that's excellent. But
you know what the best part about it is? I didn't have to call a boss to say, hey, can I take some time off? I didn't have to call anybody and say, hey, I'm not going to be to work tomorrow. I was just able, with the event finished, I decided, hey, I'm going to hop in. I don't want to miss this. Hopped in a car and just started driving because I could. So absolutely, it was amazing. So.
Well, it was absolutely meant to be. I mean, the best part is I know you were, certainly texting and watching your phone, all day Sunday, knowing that things were coming along. And, the best part was that you were able to attend, the entire event. But then on top of it, you got to be there for the baby being born. So that's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, and then you know what the best part too is it's actually a pretty good joke going around our house right now is that I already monetized my granddaughter because then I had to come home and the next day and send out a nice email broadcast about how at 5:15 I was standing on a stage in Charlotte, and at 11:15 I'm standing in a delivery room watching my granddaughter get born, and both of which were 294 miles apart. So, that was the marker in me already out there monetizing my grandbaby.
Well, what is it that they say? Always be marketing. And you know what? It's funny. It's these. I mean, certainly, monetizing your grandbaby. I mean, that's got the big awe factor. I mean, everybody and their brother, likes babies, and likes to hear great stories like that. So good for you for taking advantage of that. And Debbie, I know that you're here. So anything you want to share with us just to kick off the event, the hangout? And I know that you may have to leave us early, so let's have you share a little bit of what your weekend was like.
Okay, well, first of all, Scott, I'm glad you're recovered because I haven't begun to. And, it just goes to show you, I originally wasn't going to go to Charlotte because I had already, I went to the New Orleans event and then decided to be part of the Charlotte experience. And so I've been on the go. And the night before, I flew in from San Francisco to Florida, was home less than 12 hours, drove 10 hours to Charlotte, and then drove 10 hours back yesterday. And so, but it was totally worth it. And There's some new things that have been introduced. It's always good to, I think that what I like the most is that being around people who are positive, who are making a difference, who are moving forward in their life, and just being around that energy and talking and getting ideas. And one idea could totally change your financial picture, can change your life. And there's some things that I took away from that. But it was interesting because on the way home, here I am driving, and it starts to rain, and I don't want to stop and write, but I'm having these ideas. So I literally at different times would just turn on my phone on the video, and you could see where I was driving. I just kind of held it up, and I talked, and so that's how I did my notes on the way home from Charlotte, kind of like my ahas. And and so it's interesting now because what I really like is the combination, and I won't go into it, but we have an offline way of doing business as well as an online. And I always thought that the combination between on and offline were the best things. And people offline want to be able to leverage the internet and want to do that. And now we have a way that makes it very, very simple. Should I show the package? Or you want to wait? I can't hear you, Scott.
Why don't you? Let's just give it a second. Let's just do some introductions right now, and then we'll
okay.
get into the nuts and bolts for tonight.
Yeah. So anyway, so the on and offline combination was good, and then because I'm involved in my local chamber and local different things, and there was a takeaway too from Nicole Cooper, which talked because a lot of times when you start talking online to offline people, it's like we're talking French, in the streets of Wichita, Kansas, or something like that. So I got some good nuggets from her, which I'll share in a little bit.
Cool. Thank you, Debbie. And how about you, John? What was your biggest breakthrough moment of this weekend?
I guess it was just for me, just to kind of, I haven't really done much in the last year, but I want to be able to get refocused and get some advertising and start building my list and getting some signups.
Awesome. And that's really the key to this, John. Is just consistent focus and consistent action and keep getting that list going. I mean, that really is the key to success here. It's not rocket science by no means.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so Scott, you got anything else before we jump into some nuts and bolts stuff here, or what?
Well, just, the beauty of what this event was, and I know that, going into the events, we always talk about the value of being there, and being in the room and being exposed to, first off, all the people that are there and feeling the energy of everything that, is going on in the event. But even, more importantly, they've really ramped this up and put in real nuts and bolts training. I mean, there was things like, Mike Hobbs did a great training on a very simple way to use video in Facebook, and it's something that really anybody can do. And we're going to try and get that training together so that we can share it with the team, because the whole idea here that we, as we all know, we're working as a team, and this is really not about just one of us, finding something and not sharing it with all of us. Because, the real bottom line is that we want to have you out there getting results and do whatever it takes to get those results. And, there was other things, and Debbie touched on this, and, I certainly want to have her share, something that Nicole Cooper had shared with us. Tracy Walker talked about team building. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And the real bottom line is that this company really has taken the time to refocus itself and put it back into a place where it's a simple message, it's something that anybody can do, and we're seeing results. I mean, the best thing is, we had Don down there who just got started. He attended the event, he got all in, he came out of there just beside himself. He was just absolutely blown away by the amount of information he had, and being with us, we were just there to really get together as a group, as a family, as a team, and that's really what this is all about. We really, spent a lot of good quality time together, and we just really had a great experience there together. And what I want you all to know is, these events, I'm not just saying get to an event because, there's anything in it for me. What it really is giving something to you that's going to give you the ability to really take your business, go forth with a real confidence, knowing that what you're doing is real, what you're doing is right. I mean, there are so many stories in addition to the training of people that had been struggling and just, in really tough situations. I mean, who was it that was thrown in? Paul was thrown in a mental institution of all the crazy things, and here he's turned his business around and he's having some great success. But his family thought he was crazy to be in an online business or to be working from home, and he shared his story, and I mean the stories just went on and on, but it really was a great event with a good mix of both kinds of personal stories as well as real nuts and bolts training. So, what, Debbie, I know you wanted to share a little bit, and we want to kind of watch the time because I know you've got another commitment. So, because we're shuffling our schedule.
Actually, real quick, Debbie, why don't you go through a little bit of the new offline stuff?
Okay.
And show people like the DVDs and stuff, and then when you're done, I'll hop on and I'll tell people a few things that they can do to take that and really blow it up, really use that to blow up their business. Because I've been kind of digging through it a lot. So.
Okay, good. I have not, but anyway, so I'll kind of give an overview. And really, I just wanted to show something. The event was called Impact. Whoops, there we go. And it had an impact on everybody who was in attendance. And I have to tell you, with the offline tools, in some respect, I'm not really all that excited about it, for me personally. And it's the kind of tool where it's the kind of thing with we now have a choice. We can work online, we can work offline, a combination. But it's nice to have that choice. And what I almost said Trump Network. Can you believe that? What? A blast from the past there. And so at Empower Network, one of the things that Dave Wood was saying is that, really the online is just a small portion. And even though we have done over $100 million in less than 3 years as a company, and income disclaimer is at the bottom of the page, as a company, that's phenomenal. And that is all from online marketing efforts, or traditionally. And in the direct sales industry, it's a huge, I forget the exact number, but he said even in the top 100 direct sales companies, there's still like 15 or what is it, like 15.9 million or 150? It's a huge number of people who are involved in the direct sales industry, or maybe it was like 1 in every 15 persons. So, in other words, the numbers I'm probably totally blowing, but it's a huge number. So just know that. And there's a lot of people who really are not all that familiar with the internet, but they're out there sharing in living rooms and hotel meetings and passing out things on the street. And so Dave Wood and Empower Network wanted to be able to tap into that market. And the way that the tool that we now have is a DVD. What are you doing? Fight the Forces of Evil. And it talks about network marketing's dirtiest little secrets exposed, and how these little secrets have kept you locked in an unwinnable battle, quietly stopping you from building the business and the life you always wanted. It's your time. And over time, people have told stories. And when I joined a network marketing company, I had a pretty big organization, and I couldn't believe, and it grew kind of quickly at first. When I got my first paycheck, I was like absolutely shocked. And, and it's like, you kind of get on this treadmill and you keep building and building and building. And then your check just doesn't grow. And, and then one day, and it wasn't just one day, but it was actually one day where my upline, the company was closing. My upline took people to a lot of my downline to another company and this and that. And, there was things flying around. And so the attrition the feelings, it was just totally a mess. And what happened was is that we didn't know these little secrets. And that's the great thing about Empower Network. Even before this tool, they tell you really what it takes to build a business, how to get production, how to keep people around and build teams. And so with this tool, there's a DVD in here that you can literally just hand to somebody. And, you know, with scarcity and with, you know, with urgency, I'm building a team. Are you, you know, kind of, are you in or out? I mean, I'm simplifying it. So there's a DVD that somebody can just plug in and watch. And so they don't have to learn about the internet. They don't have to do an AWeber and all these things. They can literally duplicate without knowing what they're doing. And this will overcome, if this is for you, and it probably is for a lot of people. I like having this option because there's people that I know that really don't know anything about the internet but are out there in network marketing. And so that's what I liked about this, is being able to have that choice. And one of the funny things too is that once you do have an internet system, you know, you can bring people together and say, hey, you don't have to do home meetings, you don't have to call people, we've got this internet thing. And really, people end up calling each other anyway. So anyway, I think I'm repeating myself. Sorry, I'm tired, but I'm just glad that we have that option. And I'm not, you know, I will do some of this, but I really like building online. But I like having the choice. So that's what I've got. Brian, why don't you?
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Let me hop in here, guys, and tell you, you know, when I first heard this, you know, I'm an online marketer. What I do is market online. I generate traffic. I get traffic to a web page. Web page, you know, leads to a presentation page. I'm capturing emails. I'm an online marketer. So when Empower kind of came out with this whole, you know, doing, you know, presentations using a DVD and everything, to be honest, I'll tell you, my first instinct was, you know, that's not something I really want to mess with. Until I really started digging into it. And let me tell you a few ways that you can use this to just absolutely go out, you know, in the next couple months and blow up your business. All right, one of the tools that is going to be generated with this is in your back office, there's actually going to be an event calendar, okay? So like let's say Tracy Walker, who lives in Atlanta, I know is an absolutely ridiculous, amazing presenter, all right? So when I know now I can go on my event calendar and see Tracy Walker is doing an event in some hotel in Atlanta, Georgia on, you know, let's say August 1st, all right? What I can do is I can go to my list and say everybody in my list, I can segment my list to some people that are in the Atlanta area or 150 miles outside of Atlanta and say, hey, you really want to meet one of our hardcore leaders, $1 million earner, and really edify Tracy? She's going to be live at this event, at this place, at this time, all right? So now all of a sudden I can send my prospects to go hear Tracy Walker talk, you know, or Aaron Rashkin doing it in Denver, or Justin Beringia doing it wherever he happens to be at the time. So what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to get my prospects in front of $1 million earners or leaders in the industry. So that's number one. Number two, you could run, let's say, you know, newspapers are a pretty dying breed right now. So you could actually run some sort of Facebook marketing or some sort of advertisement saying, hey, look, you know, this great training is going to be going on in Atlanta, Georgia by Tracy Walker, $1 million earner, superior, you know, one of the best team builders in the industry. You know, come learn the secret of the business. All you're going to need to get in is this Access ID. All right? So now with that Access ID is all they're going to need to sign up for, to sign up after the meeting. Now, I'm not saying you're going to send them to John Smith's or Joe Schmo's hangout, obviously, but the leaders will protect the integrity of the program and not poach your prospects and poach your downlines. They're going to be speaking under the, hey, you know what, if you came with an Access ID, make sure you use that Access ID. So they're going to really use that. So what it allows us to do is, as online marketers, get our list to a live event. Because now instead of just a one live event going on every quarter, you know, somewhere off in, you know, if somebody lives in California, let's say, all right, and the live event's going on in Orlando in October, what we have to do now is say, hey, if you want to, because there's nothing like the power of a live event. We know this. Trust me, all of us coming out of Charlotte know this, all right? And all of us that were there in Charlotte know this. And anyone that's been doing a live event for any company knows that there's power in live events. So now I can take somebody, let's say, like, let's say Will. I can say, hey, Will, you know what? Why don't you go? I know you're in Texas. Lawrence Tam is doing this amazing training and presentation in Dallas. You should go to that. Go there. Because now there's going to be live events going on throughout the country almost every day, if not, if not 4 or 5 times a day, anywhere in the country there might be an event going on. So what I can do is say, hey, Will, you know what? Do me a favor. What's your zip code? Put in a zip code. Okay. Hey, just so you know, Lawrence Tam's going to be doing an event 15 miles from your house. You need to go there. So now I can pump him up either as a new member and get him to that live event or as a prospect. All right? Because now if I can get a new member to a live event, even if it's a presentation, they're going to come out of there fired up with a plan of action and things that they can do right then and there to go out there and start growing their business. All right? Because if you get to the live events, what happens is what happens. Your belief goes up. You spend time with Lawrence Tam in a room, your belief's going to go up. If you spend time with Tony Rush, your belief's going to go up. If you spend time with Tracy Walker, your belief's going to go up. So what it's going to do is it's going to allow Empower Network to have 1,000 events a month going on at some point. You know what I mean? So if you want to go, let's say, like I'm in Virginia, Laura Parrish, one of the top earners, is right down the road from me. So when she has an event, I can go to her event, and I can bring prospects with me. Do I have to go up on stage and start presenting everything? Of course not. I don't have to do it, but I can bring 4, 5, 6 friends with me and just say, hey, let's go check this out. I need to go to this thing. I want you to come with me. Why don't you come check this out? Now that's for some people. It's not for others. But it's just another tool in the toolbox to really go out there and just crush this thing. I mean, crush it. Because
and
if you
what,
get
Brian?
10 people to join, and here's the next thing that they're doing that's beautiful that Debbie didn't mention, is the DVD package. When somebody joins, they're pushing a $197 price point. And for $197, they're going to get the basic, the inner circle, the affiliate account, and 100 DVDs for them to hand out to people they know and to use to promote their business. So they already have promotional materials for the new person, and then for the sponsor, like me for an example, I've now got them at the basic and the inner circle, and I'm maximizing the residual amount of money I can make from them at that point. Because we know that it's a numbers game here, and what ends up happening is some people join at the $25 level and don't get to the 100. So what this is doing is getting them in at the 25 and the 100 immediately. And if you do the math on that, $250 a year for the basic, $1,200 a year for the inner circle. I mean, what is that? $1,450 per person per year. Go sign up 10 people. That's $14,500 just for having them buy that $197 package. So just absolutely huge. Scott, what do you? Hey, John, what did you think when you first saw it? Let's get you out here.
I don't really know much about the video. I was hoping for Scott to kind of tell me about it tonight.
Okay. Well, Scott, why don't you hop out and give me your thoughts on what you thought when you first said it.
It's something you wanted to interject, and then I'll kind of go back to the beginning of this, because I think we kind of fast-forwarded and really didn't set this up properly. So.
Okay. Thank you. You know what, Brian, as you were talking, and thank you for sharing that, I had a thought, too, because even if because I'm mainly an online marketer, and I love doing business that way because I like to travel and be wherever I want and have the opportunity to work that way. But when you meet people on the internet, you have to build like this know, like, and trust. And we do that through emails, we do that through social media in different ways. But imagine being able to tell, say somebody, that we're conversing with on the internet or our list, who's kind of seriously looking at this and saying, go to a live meeting. I mean, there they'll see proof, and that, what other online business has that opportunity? I don't know of any. So I thought that was just a fantastic idea. It just adds a different level of proof that even if people want to do online marketing, they can go be in a live room with people and really see what's going on. So that's what I wanted to add. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, so let me just go back to the beginning of this, because here's how they basically rolled it out for us. They said that in our industry, the people that are doing totally online marketing is somewhere around 13% of the industry. So these are people that are, out there building the business, and Empower Network is, kind of an anomaly, because what we have here is a compensation plan that really pays you very generously, and you can earn while you learn, but there is, as we've all seen, there's a bit of a learning curve. In other words, you have to learn about doing your autoresponders. You have to learn about finding some way to drive some traffic. You have to do some setups, and what happens is a lot of people are very challenged by that, and they're not getting to profit quickly enough. So what Empower looked at was the market as a whole, and I think the statistic was right that basically 1 out of every 15 households in the whole country has some kind of a home business. In MLM, the traditional belly to belly, one-on-one, or hotel rooms, or all those types of presentations are really pretty common, and that's really the 87% of the industry. So what Empower figured is, listen, we have the richest compensation plan, almost, without a doubt, of what's out there. Now, how can we help people that really aren't going to be able to get over the technology hump, or aren't interested in the technology hump, or just aren't going to, have the ability to grow the business and maybe get intimidated by it, or feel a pressure initially to, get into profit before they've even really, spent the time to learn about the business. So they said, all right, what can we do to give those people the opportunity to come here, create an income, and have the ability to, grow the business? So that's where they came up with this DVD, and really, basically, what it is, it's about a, it's a really well done presentation. Dave Wood sits down and goes through basically telling some of the history in the industry, how the compensation plans of most businesses, you go out and you sell your $100 a month juice, and you're making a commission of $5, $10, whatever. And people are, paying this big amount for auto ship, and they're, building these big groups. One example was Aaron Rashkin got up and said he had an organization of 10,000 people. 10,000, I just can't imagine. And he was making $4,000 a month, but that wasn't $4,000 net. I think there was something else that he was spending, to even get him to that $4,000 a month. And here he's got an organization of 10,000 people. And that's
he made
not
$1,000 a month because he was spending $3,000 on advertising.
There you go. Thank you, Debbie. So what they know is that there is, people will do business on a face-to-face basis, and there's really more people that are doing it that way than doing what we're doing. So they figured, okay, what can we do to have something that's much more universal for the bigger market? And then we can still do our online marketing if that's what we want to do. Because, think about it. Here he's talking to a group of people in the room that, you don't have to make phone calls. You don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to do all these things. And they're rolling out, something different that's going to be another tool in our toolbox. This doesn't mean that you have to stop learning about internet marketing. This doesn't mean that you have to stop doing what you're doing. But it gives you an ability to connect with more people. One of the things I was thinking about is like these people that really are in Amway or Mary Kay or Arbonne, or they pick the juices and things like that, and and it's not uncommon for people to be getting together and doing home meetings and what have you, and all they have to do now is put the DVD in, press play, let the presentation do its thing. There's actually training on how to tie up in the end of the conversation, and they basically you're asking 2 questions. It's what is it that you like best about what you heard? And then, the next thing is, okay, then let's get you started. It's really, that's all you're really required to do with this new tool. Let the tool do the presentation, have them find what it is that they like best, and get them started. And like Brian said, it's they're looking for that $200 price point. And if you really think about it, you sign up 4 people, you're now in profit. So, all right, so what does that mean? Your first one's passed up, the second one goes to you. So let's say you get someone signed up at that $200 package, you're making $125 from that person. Your next person passes up, your one after that goes to you. So now you have $250 a month coming in on a residual basis, and you're spending $145 with the inner circle, the basic, and your affiliate. So now you're in a position where you can really, be in profit by handing out 4 CDs and getting people started for $200, and you can show them that at 4 people, they're in profit. That's really an amazing business model. Now, once they're in profit, they're in belief, and it takes them nothing to go out and want to say, listen, I found this business, I've been working, selling my knives, selling my my jewelry, selling, doing all these home meetings, and we have a great time getting together, but the bottom line is nobody's making money here. We're not even paying for our auto ship. Well, in this business, without even necessarily knowing what to do on the internet, you can take these people and put them in profit. Now they can breathe and they can sit back and say, listen, let me really teach you how to market and expand your influence and the ways that you can connect with other people. Then they can get into the training and they can really dig into this and do it in a little more relaxed way because they're already starting to build an income. And that's really the beauty of what this is. It's another tool. I'm not going to change doing what I'm doing to the point where I'm not going to be doing online marketing. I'm absolutely going to do that. But, for those of you out there that have maybe struggled to get started or maybe, had some challenges in getting up and running, you can now just take these DVDs and hand them out. Or, you can sit with somebody and do the presentation. You can send them to meetings. You can do whatever you want. And that's really what we have here. And that's what's, like Brian said, we kind of all sat there a little bit and went, all right, so this is what they're doing. And it was like, we came here not to be talking to people, not to be doing calls, not to be doing, these things. But you can use the tools to, do the things to build your business. And it's a whole nother segment of the market that we can cater to, and that's really what's exciting about this. And I got to tell you, the presentation is really well done. There's some great testimonials in there. I mean, you guys have probably seen them before, but Dave Wood goes through the compensation plan, and he does just enough training, just enough to have people make that $200 decision. And maybe the good thing is it'll weed out the people that aren't really taking the business seriously in the first place, and just putting your toe in the water at $25 and saying, well, gee, maybe if I make something, I'll get more. Well, this may take that away because, by the way it's laid out, the way the compensation plan will work, it can definitely put people in profit very quickly. So, that's one of the things that I wanted to share. But, we really have a whole new market opened up to us, and this is a time, we don't know exactly when the company is going to be releasing the DVDs or how they're going to be doing it. They gave out 100,000 DVDs at the event. Not gave out, we bought them. There was a package that they had. And, they are going to make them available to everybody. I've heard that they just ordered 1 million more of them. So, this is going to be something that they want to really take action quickly. And, we're all looking now toward our event. By the way, the next event is in October. It's in Orlando. And, I want to see, we had, 8 or 9 of us at this event. I'd like to see 30 or 40 of us at the next event. And, that's really where we're going to grow this team. And, we have a great opportunity here, and let's just take advantage of it. So I wanted to kind of lay out what it is that they've released, how it's going to work. One of the things that in the next step, maybe I didn't cover this, is when you show somebody the DVD, on the back of it is a little thing where you put in your username. Let me get it in front of my camera. There we go. And basically, one thing that I found out is, unlike their normal sign-up page, if you don't have the right code, you won't get access. So it's not like, you'll take a chance on losing somebody. All they have to do is put in your username on the website that they're opening up for us for the sign-up page of this, and you're good to go. So there's going to be testimonials in there. The good thing is that they're doing things to, just give us more resources, and that's really what they rolled out. So stay tuned. I'm sure there's going to be some training and some more announcements from the company, but this was the main thing that we're bringing back to you. So that's what I got.
Thanks. Thank you, Scott, for that. And you know what, guys? There's so much stuff happening around us and our team and the company and Prosperity Team right now. It's so much to digest. Real quick, a couple things I wanted to let you guys know about some of the things we got going on. First, I want you guys to think for a second and really kind of listen to what I'm saying here, because as a team, we really need to kind of set a vision for ourselves and a goal for ourselves. And our goal that Scott, me, Debbie, and we all talked about, and we decided we are going to start creating, we're going to create 800K earners by the end of this year. And we really want you to get on board on that, and we want you to understand that we're going to work our tail off. We're going to do whatever we can do to get 8 people in our team over the 100K mark by January 1st, 2015. And we really want, you know, every person on this hangout to be there. We really do. We want you guys to just put your blinders on, get yourself moving, and really, really get this thing to the next level. Because there's no reason that none of you can hit that 6K figure or that six-figure figure in the next, what do we have? We got another about 5.5 months or 6 months. So in the next 5 months, our goal is to get, you know, 7 or 8 of you to the 100K mark. And you know who that is going to be mainly up to you guys, man. We're gonna start throwing some tools at you fast and furious. We're gonna start giving you guys some more in-depth trainings. We're gonna do things within this team to help you not only get new members in, get you guys to help them get upgraded. One of the things we're gonna start doing, I'm hopefully by next week, is I'm gonna start doing what's called Training Tuesdays. Training Tuesdays is gonna be higher level trainings. It's going to be embedded in our training site and our training pages. And what we're going to do is we'll do a inner circle training 1 week. The next week will be Costa Rica training. Then we'll do a 15K training. Then we're going to do a Masters training. Then the next week we'll do a inner circle, Costa Rica, 15K, Masters. So what that's going to do is that's going to allow the people that are all in, you guys will be able to get all those trainings and access to all those trainings. Those of you that aren't, what it'll do is it'll say, okay, well, we're going to talk about this on this week. If you have your 15K activated by then, great. You can hop in the training. If you're not, then you'll miss it. And then what happens is once somebody does decide to upgrade, they'll get access to all those trainings that we're going to be doing. So, you know, I have a whole slate between me, Scott, Debbie. We got a lot of stuff lined up that we're going to be throwing at you guys to give you guys the best tools possible, things that you can do with the tools you already have at you know, your disposal between Empower Network, Prosperity Team, and the We Believe team to really go out there and make this vision happen. I mean, I'm not lying. There is going to be no reason that any of you are not going to be able to blow this thing up with what we're going to start giving you over the next couple months. You know, I've never been more excited than I am right now. And you know, some people will sit there and say, "Oh, well, you know what? That sounds great, but I'm not going to do the work." All I can say to that person is, sorry, you're gonna miss it, because we're gonna start doing some things that if you don't keep up and you don't keep running with us, you're gonna get left behind. And when you get left behind, you know, you can try to catch up if you want to, but we're gonna be gone, because there's gonna be actionable things that you're gonna be able to do week from week to week to week. That by the time we roll this all out, there's gonna be no excuse why you're not gonna be at 6 figures. None. Zero, zilch, nada. So you know, you're either gonna run with us or you're not. You know, and anyone listening to this after the fact, I mean, you're either going to run with us or not, you know, because there's not going to be an excuse anymore. There's going to be an expectation set by me, by this team, that says you need to meet certain criteria if you want certain things. You know, I can't work with everybody. Scott can't work with everybody. Debbie can't work with everybody. You know, we can't work with those that aren't really ready to really take this thing to the next level. Would I love to work with somebody, you know, the people that, you know, that, hey, let me just stick my toe in the water, you know, give me 19 hours of your time for the $20 I did, or the $25 I just spent, and then watch me quit anyway? You know, that's you know, and unfortunately, there's a certain segment of the public of that, and I don't even want them near me. I don't want them near our team. I don't want them near our vision. I don't want them near our focus and our goal. Because I'm telling you, when you come running with us, you are going to be shocked of where you're going to get to. So let's bring Debbie back out. Debbie, what do you have, you think, coming out of Charlotte? What do you think that your biggest takeaway was, and biggest thing that you think that you can do, you know, with the information you got to really start to grow your business?
The biggest takeaway is being able to combine on and offline marketing. And even though I love online marketing, it doesn't appeal to everybody. And just like we talked about before, there's a whole huge market out there that's already doing these things, that's already building. And I really like the opportunity to be able to offer a way for people to make money very, very quickly. And so that's what I liked. And you know what? It's interesting because I've studied marketing. I've been a part of like some of the big marketing organizations. And I have to say that this is very professional. I mean, this is top-notch direct response marketing. And you know, and even being able to, like I said before, even for somebody who wants to totally do online marketing, to be able to have a place to go to, an event, to be able to check us out, I think is absolutely huge. And, you know I talked about Nicole Cooper. I want to do that another time so I can do that justice, but that I walked, and that too was an online offline combination, which is obviously what really caught my attention in this. And so that's really my biggest takeaway.
Awesome, awesome.
Oh, and you know what? One other thing is that with this simple system that people can be making money even before they know what they're doing, even if you don't know the comp plan, even if you don't know online marketing, you know, just by sharing the DVDs. And what really hit me, because they you know, Dave Wood was giving information on the comp plan, and there's just one figure, and he said with 100 active people, you can be making $10,000 a month. Now, of course, we're not typical. Results are not typical. See the income disclosure, but what other organization can you bring in 100 active people and make that level of income and make it quickly and ramp up? So that was my biggest takeaway.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, well, let's get John out here. John, what was your biggest takeaway from this weekend?
Well, obviously, what Debbie just said was probably the main thing, but also just getting the group together, getting everyone excited about what's happening with Empower Network and moving forward with both the videos and obviously the online stuff.
Cool, cool. And how about you, Scott? What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway was actually we had a very interesting training from Nicole Cooper, and what she did was really put a different spin on what it is that we're doing here and put it in perspective, because what we learn here, what it is that we're taught, what we can do with this business is really treated as a profession, because so many times we're kind of lumping ourselves in with this pyramid and scam and all those things that are the buzzwords out there that people like to use in businesses that they failed because they didn't try. But we've never really put the perspective of the skill sets that we're learning here and the things that we're gaining in terms of education are really very high level. They're very sophisticated, and in the market, the skills that we're learning are some very highly paid positions, social media managers, marketing managers, different ways that people are, leveraging marketing, and the industry or the world, really respects those positions. And unfortunately, we haven't really embraced what it is that we have, and we've looked at it as a, all right, we're trying to get people into a home business, but the real bottom line is that we have a profession here that we can share with other people. And once we put it into that perspective, it was really an interesting spin on things. The other one huge takeaway that I took, it was from Paul Hutchings, and in his speech, he's been in. Oh, by the way, he's been in 14 companies. He's been working from home, a number of years. I think it was 10 years or something like that. He's never had the kind of success that he's having here, but the thing that he said, which really put it into perspective and puts things in place, is he's never been with a company where the owner of the company truly was in a position to do the best that he could for the people in the company. In other words, he's been in companies where the owners have quit. He's been in companies where the company was sold. He's been in companies where there were just everything and anything that could go wrong were really, the experiences that he had. And he said, one of the things that we had happen, and I'll go back a minute here to kind of give the lead up to that. Lawrence Tam was a little bit challenged by, what's happened to his business, the growth in his team, things that, have been going on. And he wanted to find a better way to grow the business. And, Dave Wood was kind of troubled by this because, he and Lawrence are fairly close. And he said, this is a guy that really I consider a friend, and I don't want to see him, have questions or struggle or just not be in a place where he was, really feeling good about things. And he says, what can I do to help him? And in the bigger picture, what can I do to help the entire company? And, when he got up on stage, I mean, it was actually maybe the first time I've actually seen, tears in Dave's eyes, where he was like upset to the point where, he really, you could just see it was like he was really troubled by that. And he, kind of, I don't know how these things come to him, but, he had whatever vision it was that came to him, and however he goes about getting these visions. And he just said, here's something that we can do to really grow, because there's a much bigger market out there than we're hitting online. So let's find a way to tap into that. And, with the resources that they have here in Empower, they can do that. And that was, one of the things that, when Paul Hutchings said, another couple things that we haven't talked about, and this is, stay tuned because they'll be rolling it out. They're going to bundle the smaller products. So maybe someone won't be able to get the $3,000 all-in product. They're going to be able to do, the $15K level for, and don't quote me on these numbers, but let's say $1,000. Well, that's going to be very doable for a lot of people. And if you can get people signed up and get them up to that $1,000 level in their first 72 hours, and you make, a nice profit on that, well, that's a nice cash flow as well. So Empower has big things going. Another thing that I learned while I was out there, I know things are coming to me as I'm talking, is that they've got a marketing manager, someone who's going to be doing things like, creating some new lead capture pages, some new presentations. Maybe they're going to divide them up and, have different kinds of presentations for different groups of people. They're really ramping things up here, and they're paying attention, and, they've put together a very talented team, and they're just now really taking the ball and running with it. So the things that I see that are happening here, like Brian said, there's an energy here. And by the way, I do want to call Leslie out. I think she's there, but her camera isn't working. Leslie, can you hear us? Or let's see if we can hear you. Or not. If your microphone's muted, maybe unmute it. We'll see if we can get you out. If not, we'll get you out here next week. Because Leslie was down there, and what I'm seeing, and the beauty of this is, people like John, people like Leslie, who have, maybe been in the business and, kind of started and stopped and started and stopped, and now, they come out of the event with a whole new energy. And you know what, John, if you want to maybe talk about that a little bit, where you've been, where you're at, and where you're going.
Well, I mean, I've been in Empower Network for, I guess, maybe about 10 months or so, and really haven't done much with it, but after being at the event and seeing where Empower Network is going, I'm really looking forward to what's ahead, and get both the online and offline business, and just moving forward and making it a real business.
Anything you want to share with us? Maybe your biggest takeaway of the weekend. Something that stood out for you. Just anything. It doesn't matter.
Well, like I say, it was obviously the biggest takeaway was just the launch of the new videos. That'll bring in people that were like Debbie has been saying, that are not tech savvy or like computers. It opens up a whole new market to go out and talk with people.
All right. And you're right. There's all kinds of things here that we can use. So I appreciate that. And Debbie, any final thoughts? Because I know we're watching the time here, and we're going to tie this up here in the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, it's very interesting because with Empower Network, you just never know, and they're always recreating, just like you talked about, and always looking for a better way. And how can we serve the field? How or not we? How can Empower Network serve the field and help them be the best they can be? And that's a very rare thing in business, and particularly in direct sales. And there's some companies out there that are really offering a lot of things, and they're building, and they're going to sell, and that's going to change the company. There's others where, like the owners get disinterested, or, they're just really in it for the money or the business, and they don't really have a heart for people. And you can tell that Dave Wood has a heart for people. And sometimes people think, oh my gosh, here, they're changing this, they're changing that. I'm so happy to see that, because that's the way business is, and this world is changing. We're not the same that we were 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and you've got to, as an entrepreneur and in business, you've got to be able to adapt, look forward and say, okay, what's happening, where are we now, what do we need to do? And one of the things is the Leadership Council didn't even know that until Dave Wood got up on stage, that they were going to have live meetings around the country and around the world. And so it just shows the, like the thinking on his feet and however he comes up with this stuff. The guy's a genius. He's my oldest son's age, and you know what? He's just incredible. And so I'm glad, like change is happening, and those who adapt will do well, and just know that things are always changing. And so I'm just very thankful to have a company that is bringing in, top people behind the scenes, things that we don't even see, like the marketing manager and, and different employees that are behind us, because we're growing, and business is a lot of different pieces. And so we've got the behind the scenes, and now, and so it's adapting, it's seeing what they've got. We don't have to know it all. We can make money before we even know. So that's what I've got. And I am going to have to jump off a few minutes early. So.
Oh, that's cool, Debbie. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, Debbie,
And let me tell you guys real quick what my takeaway was, what my biggest takeaway. My biggest takeaway is that this company is never, ever, ever going to just sit back and watch things unfold. They're never going to just sit there and say, hey, you know what? This is okay for right now, or hey, let's just sit back and we'll wait and see what happens. I'm telling you, they are constantly exploring new avenues, doing new things, having new tools, it's just always something they're doing to make it better for all of us. I know that one announcement that I can let you. Well, no, I'll hold off on this one. You're gonna have to come back next week. We got some good stuff for next week too. But this company is never sitting back. It really isn't, and it just shocks me. Some of the things that they sit there and say, hey, well, we're working on this, we're working on that, we're working on this. It just amazes me, because I have a very good background, 10 plus years in affiliate marketing, building websites, doing SEO, and that kind of nonsense. And I'm telling you, some of the things that they're doing is just absolutely ridiculously incredible. That was my first takeaway. My second takeaway was, Dave Wood is, a genius does not describe it. He was able to take, I bet he took, I would say tens of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of hours of training, and combined it in a way that when you guys see some of these new products that are coming down the pipe, you're going to be just ridiculously shocked. I mean, I've seen some savvy marketers in my time. I've seen some pretty good people from the sales psychology side of the business, and really how to talk and how to communicate and how to get people to kind of do what you want them to do. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anybody this good ever. And I mean, I've taken Guthrie Rankford courses. I've taken so many, sales and management courses in my career that I couldn't even tell you how many I've taken. And I've never seen anybody that good. I mean, it is just absolutely incredible, some of the stuff we got going on. So we're going to try to move this along. Scott, why don't let me kick you over a question real quick. You're the one that said, "Hey, look, we need to set this vision of 8 new 100K earners, six-figure earners this year." You know, what is it? What is your thought behind that? And why is that important to you that we all get there?
Well, and thank you for that, Brian, because the bottom line is that this really is a team, and we're doing this together. And it's not about what I do, it's not about what Brian does, Debbie, John, and certainly all the rest of you that are, joining us. It's really everybody getting what they came here for. And when you get to that level, which is really $8,000 a month, it's not, something that's not, it's a goal that can be hit here. And, certainly I've hit it, and it's not something that, I can say that I'm anybody special. It's just I've been consistent, and I've just done what it's taken because I'm always taking action. I've always got a flow of leads. I'm always following up with people, and I'm just doing the things that create the results. And that really is, going back to the 8 core steps and setting goals and doing things that are important. And that's what can create results for all of us. And, what really, thrills me is, we had, for example, Don, who was at the event. He signed up last week. He was within driving distance, so he made a point of making sure that he was at the event, and he went all in.
Yeah, signed up Wednesday, was at the event on Thursday, and all in on Friday.
Correct. So he was all in, and he's 5 levels deep. And that, to me, just takes this business and makes it so rewarding because it's duplicating. People are having results, and we want to do whatever we can to do this together. So now, it impacted Don. It impacted, Ken. It impacted, who signed Don up?
Jackie Miller.
Jackie. It impacted Jackie, thank you. So, and then we just were there experiencing, all of the wins, and we're doing this together. So, even John was just sitting there with us, and we're all congratulating him, and we know that there's something happening here that's special, and we can share in that together. So that's really what this is all about, because what we see is this is a team, and we're doing this together, and we need to have goals to work toward. And I would say that that's really, this is just this year. Next year we want to double or triple that number, and there's no reason that we can't, because we're seeing people getting involved. And that goes back to, what I talked about a couple weeks ago. When you guys see the people coming in on the Facebook group, and I have to commend everyone, you're doing a better job of welcoming people, and I don't want you just liking them. I want you actually, welcoming them. And that's what's creating some excitement. It may sound minor, but what we're creating here is a culture. And that's what I'm looking to do, and that's what we need to do as a team, because that's how we can all grow together, because we're just using each other to get ahead and get the results that we deserve. So that's where that came from. I want to see us doing this together.
And you know what, guys? And by having that vision and having that goal and saying, okay, this is where we're getting. No ifs, no ands, no buts. This is where we're going. Come with us. Don't come with us. I don't care. But that's where we're going. And if you want to go, come on. Let's do this. If you don't, more power to you. I wish you the best. Do what you think is right. But for me, I have my sights set. I'm laser focused, and we're ready to bring you. We want you guys to come along. We want us all to do this together. We want to really just take this team and really make this a big team in this company. We have some of the best tools, some of the best resources, some of the best things around. We just need to start getting ourselves laser focused on how we're getting there and why we're doing this. Couple quick announcements, because we're coming at the top of the hour, and then we'll do a quick wrap up. The We Believe Team Co-op again is now in the We Believe Team site in the Costa Rica level. So if you do want to order clicks, then you can just go in there, process your order. For your first order, I'm actually going to be working with you a little bit, helping you set up a landing page, or making sure your funnels and everything are set up. So that way, when you do order more clicks on an ongoing basis, we're 100% sure it's signed up or set up and ready to roll. I did a test yesterday. Actually, I sent 250 clicks and ended up with 87 opt-ins. So I was real happy with that. Second thing, the Powered Clicks, obviously, at the 15K level, that is open. So you can feel free to start generating some traffic using that. So those are the two things with the traffic side of it. Also, like I said, Tuesdays are going to be training Tuesdays. We will be doing them again at 8 o'clock, just like we do this hangout. They will be embedded in certain areas. So like next week, we are going to be starting off at the inner circle level. So if you do not have your inner circle, fair warning, you have 1 week to get that activated, to get access into that site, so you can get onto that training, because it's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty cool. So that's what I got with that. So those are our quick announcements. Trying to think what else was there. There was something.
You know what? I got one very quick thing.
Okay.
I do want to welcome Andrea and Terry to their very first hangout. Both of them signed up within the last week, and they're here on the hangout. And you know what? That's where the results are going to come from, with connecting with what we're here for, with the support that we have, and we look forward to them bringing the people that they're bringing into the business to the hangout, and that's how we're going to grow this team, because it is
one of the many ways we're going to grow this team.
Well, that's certainly one of the best ways, because you're really tapping into the resources that we have. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out there. And John, any final thoughts?
1, 2, 3, impact, right?
Yeah, there we go. We certainly we did that cheer, numerous times, and we do want to see everyone on the team succeed, and I know that's really been the theme. But it's really take the energy that we're bringing back, tap into that, use that in any way that you can, and let's really all do this together. So Brian, any closing statements here?
Guys, there's not going to be, really, there's no excuses now. It's time to really, really roll up your sleeves, dig in, and let's do this together, because it's going to be a fun ride. It really is. It's going to be a fun ride. I have a solid plan. I have some things that we're going to be really kind of digging into, and my goal is, by the time we're done, that you guys, I can keep producing traffic for you and keep selling it to you. My goal is to get you guys to the point where you're the ones out there doing it. You're the ones out there producing your own traffic. You're the ones out there doing your own thing, and really just taking it to the next level. So, just be ready to hop on board, because I'm telling you, come next week, it is game on, boyfriend and girlfriends, because it's time to throw on the big boy pants, put on the big girl skirts, and because it's go time. It is go time. So that's what I got.
And one other quick thing, we will be back to our normal Thursday night hangouts next week. Because of the 4th of July, we did a little bit of shifting here, because we wanted to share what it is that we learned and some of the experiences that we had at the event. And I look forward to seeing you all on the Facebook page, welcoming your new teammates.
Yeah, just watch the Facebook group, because there is some stuff that I might actually have something for Thursday for a hangout. So just keep your eye on the Facebook group too. So it's not going to be a traditional hangout. I might have a little training thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to just try to see if it's going to be finished by then.
All right, excellent. We'll stay tuned and we'll watch for that. So everybody go out and make it a great week. Enjoy your 4th of July. And if there's any questions or anything that you need from us, we are always there on the Facebook group, and looking forward to helping you, and make it a great week. And I think we are over and out, and we actually did it in an hour this week. So
yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Right. Thank you for spending time with us.